So, a remittance advice question. This is a question from the AAT practice assessment. So, you've received a cheque for 1,567 from J Jack, whatever, see it Limited, which they incorrectly stated is in full settlement of the account. So, when they present a cheque and they've said that it's in full settlement, and so they've done a remittance advice here, as they told you that's what the situation is. Here's the customer account from the sales ledger here. The remittance advice is saying that they've paid that. Now, they've not actually sort of said what they've paid. They're just saying it's in full settlement really here. Show which 3 transactions are outstanding by identifying the relevant transactions we've logged. So which one of these 3 are going to which ones are going to highlight as being outstanding? Really in here. It's a 3-mark question. Now, the important thing on this question is to not get stuck in terms of time, really, and just sort of get on with it, because you could spend 15 minutes on this one, and that's why in let's say other tasks you're going to do them faster. But you've got 3-mark questions, so we'll go from now 3 minutes for this one. If you finish it early, skip towards 3. But at the 4-minute mark in this video, I'm going to give you the answer and how I went about it as well. So you should have come up to 2 minutes on this question, so you should have hopefully made a bit of progress into it now. Okay, so it's time now. Let's look at how I did the task here. So in terms of, let's break down this question here. We've got this amount here that we've got to get to. So in here there are some figures which will get to that amount there at least within here, and we've got to see what's left over. Now, the way to approach these questions is to always look down the right-hand side first. The credit side in the sales ledger account. Really, let's just look at what sort of has gone on in terms of. So here you can see we've got a bank amount that's actually come in here, and that bank amount here I sort of deducted from the balance brought forward straight away. So I got that one from there, and that left me with £480 left over, which is that credit note there. So I could clear those 3 out immediately by looking at. So you always want to look down the right-hand side. What have you got? You've got credit notes and your bank accounts or payments really into the bank account. So it's gone debit bank, credit trade receivables control account, and also then credit this customer's account in the sales ledger. So I cleared those ones there by looking down the right-hand side, finding a payment that I had there, and deducting it from the balance brought forward, that gave me a figure that was left over as a credit note. Those three cleared, definitely not those. Okay. Then I looked at the figures on the debit side of the sales of the customer's account, really, and this is the amount that's been paid, 1567 here, and I had this invoice here, which is way larger than that figure, so that couldn't be possibly part of it, so I cleared that one off, really. And then I looked at, well, what could get me above the 1567 on this side, because I'm going to have to then deduct some form of credit note from it. I've got some credit notes here, it's going to deduct from this amount here. What would get me above it? Well, those two together wouldn't get me above it, so that's not going to work, but those two did get me above the figure, and that got me to 15999, and I could deduct off this one credit note from here. So that was those three there, was that there, and then that meant that these three ones were the leftover ones. Those three are left over, and that's how I went it. So you do need to have a bit of a strategy going into this one. If you're just sort of randomly putting, trying to add things together, you'll run out of time quite rapidly. If you find yourself getting a little bit stressed out and frothed out by it, hold this question until something like the last one there. Now, don't use up 15 or 20 minutes on this question because it's 3 marks. A lot of this one is about, will you get hooked up on it? Now, in this assessment, this was in task 1C. So this was like really right up in the first question, really. In there, a student could very easily blow 20 minutes on this task, have a complete breakdown, really, in terms of how it is, and then walk out the exam. So it's a test of mental toughness, this one. So why I said do this task, and all the questions which we do, so do them to time. Because you'll get used to the idea of it, and we'll see what the breakdown is. So this one here was very much about strategy, about how we're going to go about it. Look down the credit side first. You've got a payment here, right? Okay. The brought forward is very rarely going to be actually in the answer, to be carried forward there. So it's usually going to be part of this sort of calculation there. So that's how I did it, and then that's how I got to do this one in 3 minutes. But what I would say is it even took me 3 minutes to knock this one out. Whereas in the normal ones, I'm usually getting a mark every sort of 20 seconds or something. Whereas if I'm using my full allotted time for this, that's quite a tough one. Hopefully that was useful. See you in the next one.